Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. Apologies for the few minutes. We had a donut amongst our midst that had to go and be rescued from a car that wasn't even locked in the first place. Absolute donut-esque behaviour, and she won't be forgotten or forgiven. Guys, I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love. With those you love to do them with, please do us the favours you always do. Really appreciate the support on the show, but smash the like button for us. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop some comments thick and fast. Let us know how you're feeling about whatever we're talking about. If you're new around these here parts, all you got to do is rub the sub and you get instant access to the chat. Like button should be hit as customary. And if you are interested in the audio or just the podcast formats, then you can watch this show on Spotify and you can also listen to it on Apple. Links are in the description. If the Super Sticker train wants to commence, we're ready to choo-choo and pick you up wherever you are. We got a hell of a lot to talk about. Today is Tottenham-centric as well as a load of other things going on. And Johnny, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. Listen, guys, I've got to say, unbelievable. We are one sub away from 3,800. Unbelievable on our journey to 4,000. And yesterday, over 8,000 views. 8,000 views for a tiny little channel. We are growing. And the liking was unbelievable yesterday, Sean. 656 likes for our little channel.
I don't understand it, mate, because we were both bozo-esque. I mean, I've never seen. I think. Well, I'll tell you what happened with me personally. I called down just after the Tottenham stream. I said to the cleaner, "Can you bring me up a little gin and tonic?" And she brought me up a glass that was basically 100% gin and no tonic, and it hit me sideways. And then you were just on another planet. Like your energy was like unmatchable. I feel like you've been hanging around with someone from, I don't know, Colombia, Medellin or something for the entire. But you were with me in a Tottenham show. So it was a wild show. There was donut moments throughout, and yet it was the best watched show we've ever done.
Listen, look, I've got to be honest with you. You know, the audience, you guys in the chat, you're all part and parcel of it. And, it's been great to take this journey with you. But, we're here to have fun. Do we always get it right? No. Do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we make some faux pas? Yes. But, this is it. You don't want scripted, boring crap. That's not what we're about. We're about
not listening when the other person's talking. So when you say, "Oh, I've got a story about Eze," and I'm like, listening to you talking, but not really paying attention, and I go, yeah, that'll be a good signing. Anyway, I've got one for you, Johnny. How about Eze?
Listen, look. The thing is right now is Spurs fans, United fans, Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Newcastle, everyone is on edge right now. There isn't long to go before the start of the season. Everyone's saying, even Liverpool fans, we need a centre-back. Newcastle fans, they need everything. Man United need to get rid of players, bring players in. Bournemouth are selling everybody and, who they're going to bring in to supplement all these sales. There's so much. The new promoted clubs are going hell for leather to supplement and bring themselves, into the game. And then you got West Ham in the mud. Who just, I don't know what they're doing.
West Ham in the mud. I mean, they're just in the mud. Johnny, There's a bigger story out than that. And I know we've got the Isak story to talk about, and we've got Tottenham stuff. We've got loads of other transfer news and clues. And by the way, at the end of the show, when we do our Turkey segment, we're also doing Spin the Wheel, right? So one of us is getting a Turkish team that we've never heard of. Another one of us is getting another team. And you lot are probably going to get Galatasaray or Besiktas in the comment section, because that's the way it seems to roll out. But in what order do you want to do this today, Johnny? Because there is also another story that's breaking, which no one's talking about yet. No one's talking about this. But Johnny, we are conspiratorial at our heart, right? We like to sort of join the dots here. There is a breaking story with Marinakis and John Texter that is one for the ages. To me, it's a demonstration that the two of them were colluding the entire time. They were in cahoots the entire time of this nonsense with regards Palace and Forest and Lyon and Botafogo. And we'll get, I don't know, do you want to do that story now, or should we talk about Tottenham first?
Can I just say, guys, I know you think we mess around a lot in here, and we do. but we are very serious about certain subjects, and the financial shenanigans is one of them. And if you guys have been listening since the start of our shows, you have heard us talk about the conspiracy theory that we've had, which seems it's no longer a conspiracy theory, between John Texter, Marinakis, Botafogo, and Lyon. And, you know, the shenanigans that are going on and how they've all conspired together to screw Crystal Palace over and benefit themselves. And, you know, we've had a few comments, you know, about, you know, what you're talking about. You're imagining stuff. Well, today it's really come to light. Sure,
Should we start with that story? Should we do that story first?
Let's start this story first, because I think Crystal Palace need to be utilising this story to come forward to defend themselves and show what John Texter and our favourite man to hate, Marinakis, is all about.
All right, so listen, it's a breaking story. It's actually not even breaking. It's not even out on TalkSport or anything yet. Connor, Leaving-Nomics, shout out to him. He sent me a tweet from something called Glorious Botafogo, which is a big sort of Botafogo.
We've been talking about this though for weeks.
Yeah, we absolutely have. Yeah, but he sent me this tweet. So I just, you know, giving fair credit, I hadn't seen this particular one. So just give you a bit of backdrop, right? So we know, I'm sure everyone's familiar, but just super quick overlay. John Texter, 42% owner of Crystal Palace. He sold his stake for 190 million, valuing Palace at 400 million quid.
To Willie Johnson. Yeah.
To Willie Johnson of the New York Jets. Yeah. If you guys remember, on TalkSport a couple of weeks ago, he basically said he had ambition. He had desires to utilize the multi-club ownership for the value that multi-club ownership brings. He wanted to bring players in from Brazil, from Botafogo, into the Premier League that would have helped. And that every time he ever produced any sort of idea, he was essentially cock-blocked by Parish, who said, you know, and John, I think you summarized it well.
Yeah.
He wanted to just keep Palace in the Premier League, whereas Texter wanted to do bits. But because he wasn't majority owner, he didn't have any say.
Correct.
At the same time, in the past, Lyon, who are owned by John Texter, part owned by John Texter, had £90 million taken out of their accounts to be transitioned across to Botafogo, 100% owned by John Texter, so that they could buy a few players and get for their own financial issues to go and win the Copa Libertadores. They did that. And Lyon fans were apoplectic when that story broke, right? Like, you took money out of our accounts to go and help yourself out over there. We're not Botafogo fans. And by the way, that was in no small part responsible for why Lyon breached all of their financial covenants and were provisionally relegated to Ligue 2. Now, at the same time, Lyon said, we're going to appeal the conviction, if you like. And if we get rejected, then we'll sacrifice our position in the Europa League, that they qualified right by their position in the Liga, and they have more coefficient points than Crystal Palace. Therefore, of the two teams that would have been in the same multi-club ownership model, and there was no Chinese walls to separate the two, then that's why Palace were put down into essentially the Conference League.
Can I interrupt you just there? Because I don't want to. There's just one part of that story that I just to throw in there. Sorry, don't lose your thread. Lyon would not have been in the Europa League had it not been for a late penalty given away by a player on loan from Nottingham Forest.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Amazing insight. Yeah. Thank you for that interruption, because that even makes the tangled web even more complicated.
Sorry.
So Lyon said, if you keep us in League 2, we'll forego our Europa League thing. At the time, Johnny and I said, that's a little bit shameless. What you should say is, if you let us back into League 1, then we'll forego the Europa League as a gesture.
Yeah.
But instead they said, if you keep us in League 2, then we'll forego it. But because John Texter, or two reasons. One is Bradley Barcola moved from Lyon to PSG, and PSG owed Lyon money. And so PSG did a gesture, a nice thing, and said, we'll give you the full money that we owe you over installments. We'll give it up front. That wouldn't have been enough. Crystal Palace sold, when John Texter sold his stake in Palace, he gave that money back to Lyon, which made them more secure. That then allowed them to win their appeal and get promoted, which essentially put them back in the Europa League. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, that wasn't quite it. The thing is that Botafogo sold 2 players to Nottingham Forest, Cunha and Igor Jesus, right? To Nottingham Forest, which gave Botafogo the money, which gave John Texter the money to also contribute to Lyon to help them get out. So it was a combination of those 2 players he sold to Marinakis plus PSG's grateful offer to pay the Barcola money up front.
And some of the money that went from John Texter's sale from Crystal Palace, right? So all of a sudden, Lyon have got enough money. They look financially secure. They then win their appeal back into Liga, back into the Europa League, which then, aided by Marinakis' complaint to UEFA, Marinakis at Nottingham Forest, they screwed up at the end of the season. They finished in the Conference League spots. They said, and Marinakis knew, we didn't know how at the time, but he knew that there was dodgy dealings going on with regards to the divestiture of John Texter's stake in Crystal Palace and the fact that he didn't do it by a certain deadline, which had been moved earlier to March. So John Texter walks away, £190 million. He's moved the money back into Lyon. Lyon are back in, which is in itself has screwed over Crystal Palace. He's already said on TalkSport, Parish didn't let me do what I wanted to do. I had no control. Separately, I found a video earlier from a few days ago of John Texter talking in Brazil for Botafogo saying, I really like Marinakis. We're really good mates. We both see football through the same lens. We both want to basically utilize multi-club ownership. And that's part of the reason why, I offered these players to Crystal Palace. Parish didn't want them. So those 2 players, plus many others in the past. Remember, Danilo ended up at Forest via Botafogo, I'm pretty sure, right? So this, and Marinakis was told by Texter, trust that Danilo is a really good player. Either there or it's from Rio Ave. And Rio Ave is another part of this story, right? So in Marinakis' multi-club ownership, he owns Olympiacos, Forest, Rio Ave, and I think that's it, those 3 clubs. So what's transpired today, and I'll bring it up on the screen, here's where just random coincidental information meets conspiratorial fact. This is from Glorious Botafogo. If this is true, this is wild. Breaking. Marinakis is likely to invest €100 million to back John Texter. We are looking at a new multi-club ownership model that will include Botafogo, owned currently by Texter, Forest, owned currently by Marinakis, Rio Ave, owned currently by Marinakis, Olympiacos, owned by Marinakis, and RWD Molenbeek, owned currently by John Texter. No Lyon, no Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has already been sold. Lyon, he doesn't have the ownership majority to better do that. Marinakis will be the majority owner, and Texter will take up the role as administrator of the clubs he's bringing in. This is not currently official. This is the story that's breaking. Now, Johnny,
mate,
it doesn't pass the smell test for me, bro. This seems like Marinakis went to John Texter a long fucking time ago. Hey, buddy, screw that Parish donut over. If something materializes in a certain way, if the ducks line up in a certain way, sell your stake there. You can buy in, or I'll back you by buying Botafogo. Essentially, he's buying Botafogo and he's buying Molenbeek for €100 million. John Texter gets that money. Lyon have come back into Liga. Right, Lyon, of course, were already loaning Thiago Almada from Botafogo. That guy subsequently gone to Atletico Madrid. This, to me, screams like Crystal Palace have been done the dirty by a current owner that always had intentions to leave and join up with his Greek buddy. And let's not even start on the disgusting amount of allegations against Marinakis for match fixing, for bribing referees, for drug trafficking allegedly on the shipping magnates' ships. All the stuff that Marinakis is into, mate. This seems like the dirtiest of deeds, and Palace fans should be apo-fucking-plectic about this if this is legit.
Listen, look, Tommy K. Okay, he got one player wrong, Danilo. But what we're saying here is, mate, if you want to draw a spot on the whole of the news, right? What we're basically saying is, Sean and I have been talking about this for weeks. As soon as this broke, we knew the relationship because we looked at multi-club ownership and how it's all intermingled and how people get round everything. We've been doing this crap for like 2 years now or longer. So we were brought this up. So as soon as Marinakis complained about Crystal Palace, we smelt a rat straight away. And we've been doing clips about this. And so when this story broke today about Botafogo, and this has come from Botafogo, it's not, come from us. This is come from within their club about the group. Bearing in mind that Texter has been involved there. And as we said, Nottingham Forest have bought 2 players through Edu. No doubt Edu will be the head of all. I mean, there's a reason why Edu left Arsenal to come to Marinakis, because he was offered this global role because he wanted to grow the brand. And they bought Igor Jr., Igor Jesus, the striker, and Cunha, the defender there. But it's so intermingled. And the fact that he was the one complaining to FIFA, and the fact that somehow they got Lyon out of it to try and benefit Nottingham Forest, the whole thing is intermingled. It's there for you all to see. It's not something we've made up. It's something that's factual, that's there for everyone to see. It stinks to high heaven, just like half the other things that we found over the last 2 years. And it is not something we've just sort of come up with.
Didn't complain about Palace. What are you talking about, Tommy? He sent in a letter to UEFA, mate. What are you talking about? You see, we're not talking shit. That's out there in the news. Marinakis sent a letter of complaint to UEFA saying that the Crystal Palace shouldn't be.
What a load of drivel! Yeah, well, what do you mean? Which bit is drivel exactly, Tommy K?
Yeah. Please. Anyway, listen. It's a story that's emerging. It's a story that's breaking. It screams to me from high heaven that John Texter and Marinakis have been in cahoots for a long time, and that this was always part of the plan. And there's a little parting shot to Crystal Palace to Parish as a method to not allow him to benefit from their FA Cup win. It just seems super dirty and super underhanded.
Can I just add, Adam Phillip, doesn't Edu just have a new role now that's strictly Forest? Yeah, it's strictly Forest. That's why his first deals to go and do in this season are with Botafogo, that's John Texter's club, that are now going to link up. It's all interlinked. He brought him in because of his connections with Brazil and him wanting to do more business with Brazil. So what do you mean Forest didn't write a letter to complain about Palace? They complained about Palace. They're the ones that complained that they've broken the rules. What are you talking about?
Hang on, I've got it for you right here. Oh, I can't even. I'm going to show you the title of it, just so I can.
Why we have to justify itself?
Listen, hang on. This is. Can I see it? I'm sure you can see it there. Nottingham. Is it on the screen?
Yeah, complain to
Nottingham
UEFA.
Forest complained to UEFA over Crystal Palace European place. You're talking absolute bone. Like, just don't. You're a donut, Tommy K. You're a donut, mate. You're a donut. Okay, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Point proven.
Right, let's talk about. Let's move on. And for the matter, in case you are interested or if you're not interested, Burnley's owners are buying Espanyol. If you can believe that.
Yeah, Burnley's owners buying Espanyol for 130 million. Liverpool are buying Getafe for 112 million or something. It's not quite official yet.
And it's just us talking crap. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, everyone's moving back into the multi-club ownership thing is being blown wide open right now because of what Chelsea are up to. Chelsea are proving. We spoke about this for years on Sean Butler TV and on Spurs Talk Show, Johnny, you and I, about the fact that multi-club ownership models generally have like a teething issues. If you're plugging in one additional club, there's more risk than there is reward. Second club, if you get the template correct. Third club, it gets a little bit easier. Then you get into the world of like RB, you get into the world of 777 partners, MCP Capital, although those last two examples got themselves into massive financial problems. But then you've got the biggest name of them all is obviously City Football Group that have about 15 of the of different clubs around the world. But what Chelsea are doing, mate, is just they're gobbling up all of the youth talent. And then if they can't justify keeping them around in their own squad, then they'll just loan them out or sell them to Strasbourg. They sold a player for £7 million the other day who'd never even kicked a minute of professional football in his life.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, if you don't work it out, because now that they sell that as a homegrown, multiple times 5, tries to get around the FFP. Look how many players have gone from Chelsea to Strasbourg. Anyway, let's move on. Right?
Tommy, I've just shown you, bro. I've just shown you an article from The Guardian. You can deny it all you want, pal. But if it's in The Guardian, I'd rather listen to proper journalists than some geezer in the comment section on a channel telling me that it didn't happen. Okay?
And it's not in just in one paper, mate. It's in more than one paper. It's in more than one article.
It was on Sky Sports. What are we doing here?
Come on.
Let's move on.
Spurs have been linked. Although we were doing Kolo Muani, which is going to be a difficult one. We've said this numerous times, but Spurs are interested in him. Whether or not they can do the deal, Juventus have been saying they can do the deal for weeks now, but they still can't do the deal because they've got so many players to get rid of. Vlahovic, Douglas Luiz, they're trying to do other deals, but they can't really do them now on loan. But one that seems to be gathering pace is Spurs seem to be on the verge of trying to hijack Enzo Milo going to Atletico Madrid to Stuttgart.
Really?
Another French under-21. Maybe we're trying to...
He's quality, mate. He's a quality player, Enzo Milo.
That would make 3 French under-21 internationals in our squad if we could manage to pull that one off.
Can you imagine the stench of garlic coming out of the canteen? It'd be absolutely insane.
I mean, look, how would you put him? Because he's an attacking midfielder. He's a central midfielder. He's a right winger. I mean, I feel like we need a creative midfielder, and we need a left-sided winger. Is this the type? I mean, there's no doubt he's a really good player, but is that the type of player that we need right now? I'm not 100% sure.
Who are you talking about?
Enzo Milo.
No, I love him. He's a
great player. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying, is that the position that we need? I'm not doubting how good a player he is. I'm more just worried, thinking. Do we need another right-sided player? Is it not on the left?
I think he's more of a 10. I think he's played more minutes as a 10 than he has as a right winger.
Midfielder, isn't he? Really?
Yeah. But he's a cracking player. He's been at Stuttgart now for what, 4 years, 5 years, I think.
He was at Monaco before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a good player. So I'd be more than happy to see him. I mean, if that's where we go, but for me, I've laid my kind of cards out. If we're looking at all of the kind of Morgan Gibbs White alternatives, I would love to go and do a double raid on West Ham and go and get Lucas Paqueta. I think he's. I know he's just got through his match fixing or betting scandal or whatever it is. He got cleared. In fact, wasn't Tommy Kay the guy? I'm pretty sure, mate. Tommy Kay was the guy last week who said, 2 days ago, who said that. Paqueta hadn't been cleared of his betting scandal. I was like, yes, he has.
I mean, I don't know.
I think you're behind the 8 ball, bro. You're behind the 8 ball.
I think he could be hippie in disguise, mate. He's just coming in to, I don't know. Look, the fact of the matter is, it's out there. I'm not going to rejig it. Sean and I have been talking about it for a long while before any of the Marinakis stuff came out. We were talking about how strange this is, and he's sold the players. He's going to use that money to pay off Lyon. Lyon are going to get off of it. Then Palace are going to be the ones that suffer, and it's all interlinked. It's not something. Go back and you can see us talking about this weeks ago. Anyway,
what's this Isak story, mate? Talk to me about the Isak story. What's going on?
Well, Alexander Isak, they put in a bid for 110 million plus extras. I was talking to someone today who is involved in the Palhinha deal, and he was saying that, Liverpool didn't do anything different to what Spurs did with the Morgan Gibbs White. Get the agent, speak to the player, get him unsettled, tell him he's there, rattle him, and then put in a bid. They want 150 million. I mean, he's not 150 million, Sean. I mean, is he a good player? 100%, no doubt about it. He's had a few injuries. In the real world, is not 110 million plus extras and bonuses enough?
Not really, mate. We saw what happened with the Gareth Bale saga. Like, we got 100 million quid back when 100 million quid meant, or 100 million euros back when 100 million meant something, and we ended up like spraying it around on like 6 or 7 players. You know, only a couple of them were worth it. But like, I think like even Daniel Levy tried to play the game of like, oh, don't say anything to anybody. Let's the deal's done, but you know, let's not announce it so that no one's going to know that we've got money to spend. It didn't work because obviously everyone put 2 and 2 together and said, how are Tottenham doing this, and this? Of course, Gareth Bale was going. If Liverpool have made a bid, I'm looking at what Ben Jacobs has said here. 110 million quid for. I mean, look, Florian Wirtz is 120 million quid, right? The guy might be a superstar, but there's certainly unknowns around Florian Wirtz. One injury and you're in trouble. I think there's a limit to how much you want to pay for certain players. But for me, Alex Isak has done it in the Premier League. I don't know what the right price is for him, but it clearly, according to this, it seems like Liverpool put in a bid, and Newcastle have just said no and basically piss off.
I mean, look, the thing is, if they say no and they're stagnant on 150 million, I don't think the deal's going to happen, because I don't think any player right now is worth a player who's had injuries and whatever is worth 150 million pound. You know, I think 120 million plus goal extras is the max. I really do. I mean, the interesting thing is now is what happens if, because they're saying Newcastle, they're not going to sell unless they have a replacement. So what happens if they want Sesko and Man United say, well, we want Sesko? It's been said that he would prefer, of any deal, he would rather go to Manchester United.
Yeah, Liverpool going to come in there then?
Well, listen, I mean, look, the problem is Newcastle have lost out on 7/8 players that they've tried to sign. It's not the lack of trying to couple up with Alexander Isak. You know, they lost Wilson as well, don't forget. So they need players. They've only got Osula up front. He's good young striker, but I don't know.
So Isak's not even with their team right now.
No,
he's apparently with
Dad.
Well, Sociedad, that's right. Yeah. So he's training with his ex-club, or he's getting fit at his ex-club. It seems like someone who's having a break from his missus, and he's going like, listen, you keep the house, you look after the kids. I'm going to go and chill outside. Well, where are you staying? Staying at the ex's house. I mean, it seems a little bit odd. But I tell you what, maybe, Johnny, quick question. Do you think that Newcastle's attempts to replace Isak before he's gone, and how badly they have failed to attract anybody of any real stature, that Newcastle have gone like, what's the point of having 150 million quid or 130 or whatever? We can't get anyone like Isak. So, you know, and you've got owners that have got more money anyway. So
they don't need one striker though, Sean. They need 2. Don't forget they were going to try and buy Ekitike to pair him up with Alexander Isak, right? That was the plan. I mean, and if they don't get Sesko, I mean, what are they going to have to do? Bid 60 million for Vissa, right? To fill the void.
And he ain't worth that, is he? 29, nearly 30. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Are they going to go down the Nicholas Jackson route? I don't think so.
I hope not, but I like Newcastle. I genuinely like them. Nicholas Jackson is I think he's an inside forward, not a striker, personally, and I don't think he suits the system that Newcastle want to play, which is possession-based football. I think he's a counter guy. I think that Jackson would have been better off going to a team that plays that sort of model, like they did at Villarreal, personally. But you know, that's just my take.
But also, the other thing is they're desperately looking for some centre backs, and they've asked now about Brighton, Jean-Paul Van Hecke, right? And they've given a quote of about £40 million. We're judging by his performance. That's not terrible value.
Yeah.
There's only one problem. Liverpool aren't going to get Zabiani now because he looks like he's going to go to PSG. He said only want PSG. Mark Gahey might not leave,
right?
Which will mean that Liverpool could well come in for Van Hecke. And who's he going to choose? Newcastle or Liverpool?
Liverpool. I think Liverpool are only. Second fiddle to one team in world football.
Real Madrid.
Yeah. Genuinely think that Liverpool have got that kind of gravitas, that brand, that family environment, and the propensity of winning the big things and the project. I think the only team that can convince a player to go to them rather than Liverpool is probably Real Madrid.
I must be.
Yeah, we'll find out about that. We might end up coming back to the Isak story, Johnny. Just quickly, there's nearly 800 people in the house, guys. It's insane numbers. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to get onto the Tottenham stuff now.
Let's do the super chats.
Let's do that right now. Please do smash the like button, guys. Really appreciate your support of the channel. It's been fantastic, and we hopefully we can continue to provide you something that's worth watching as we go forward. Please hit the subscribe as well. If you are watching this, by the way, and you're not subscribed, and you want to come in and tell Johnny or I or Tommy K why it is that we're all wrong, then all you got to do is hit the sub, and then you'll get instant access. You haven't got to wait a second. Cat Funt, big up to you, my man. He says, someone please get Marinakis a burger. He looks hungry. How's it going, fellas? Excited about the old Pally boy. Yeah, Palhinha. Johnny, I'll let you have that one, mate. What's your thoughts?
Listen, I mean, look, he's a destroyer, and it's what Spurs have needed for a long, long time. Stop any Spurs fan on the street who doesn't even know about football. He'll say, "What do you need? A 6." Then he'll say a striker, even if he don't even know what a 6 is. He'll say, "We need a 6." We all know, give and go. That's what we want. Destroy, tackle, give the ball to Papasar or Bergvall or Bentancur or whoever else is coming in. It's obviously not going to be Morgan Gibbs-White now. But we need another midfielder. But listen, that's another piece of the jigsaw. He's a massive improvement on what we've got in that particular role. We know that Kudos is a massive improvement on taking players on and being successful at it. Only Lamau has got more successful take-ons in all the top leagues in Europe. So we know we're 2 up, but we need a lot more right now. But listen, you've got to start somewhere. And after yesterday's result and that one in the bag, we need to continue. We need to now come out with some other signings now. Whether or not we're going to get the ones that we just mentioned. For anyone who's just joining us, we have been talking about the news that's come on today about Enzo Milo Spurs trying to hijack the deal from Stuttgart to Atletico Madrid. Not sure how much legs that one's got. The Kolo Muani is just the dream, to be honest with you. It's one that I've been talking about for a long time. We're a different project now to when we first tried to attract him when we were in free fall, couldn't win a game. And the likelihood of us being in the Champions League was just a pipe dream at that time. But Juventus are struggling to find money for any striker or any player for that matter. So I suppose the dream's alive for that one. The other one is the centre-back, the Uruguayan centre-back from Barcelona.
Yeah, before we do that, let's just finish these super chats, can we? Before we move on, we've got a couple more to go. Sorry, quickly. Thank you very much, Cat Fun. Appreciate you, buddy. Really appreciate you, mate. Yeah, look, he does look hungry. Someone said in the comments, I think he needs a salad more than a burger. Like a man after my own heart. I need something similar. Blake L, big up to you, mate. Choo choo. Super sticker train has commenced. Let us know where we're picking you up from, Blake, over in America. Appreciate you, mate, very much. And David Blair has come in and said, if Liverpool had let Newcastle get Ekitike, then they would have got Isak by now. And I don't disagree with that, David, mate. I think that the reality is that I think Liverpool phoned up Newcastle and said that you can have Isak or you can have Ekitike, but you can't have both. And Newcastle said, well, you can't have Ekitike. So, okay, we'll take Isak then. Oh, sorry, you can't have Isak. We'll take Ekitike. And then they went, actually, we want them both anyway. But I think Newcastle are a little bit pissed off with Liverpool, just like maybe Forest is a little bit pissed off with Tottenham.
I think they crippled them. I mean, listen, I think in some shape, way or form, with Mitchell leaving in May, the director of football for Newcastle, it's thrown their whole transfer window into chaos. There's no one really leading the charge. As we said before, the list of players that they've tried to sign is like a who's who that have been swallowed up by other clubs. They're now in a situation where They've got a striker that's sitting there with 110, 150 million pounds that they'd love to go and spend right now, but they can't because they don't know whether the deal will 100% be done at the price they want. And even if they do sell him, there's no guarantee they can get any of the bloody targets they want, because those targets, Sesko and others, have other desires, and it isn't Newcastle, which is kind of crazy because, you know, considering they won the cup, this is their second time in the Champions League in the last 3 years. They needed to strengthen their depth, because we saw when they were in the Champions League last time, they couldn't maintain the dual competition of being competitive in the Champions League and at the same time being in the Premier League, and that's why they dropped off. So this year their plan was extend the strength in depth, and it's completely backfired. And all they've done now is lose Wilson. They got Elanga, so you know they've got the second fastest player in the Premier League now. They brought him in, but they need to do more business. I don't know where they go from here, to be honest with you, Sean. Do they really wait? I mean, let's be honest, Liverpool can afford to wait it out, can't they? It's not like they don't have any firepower.
No, they'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine. I think Liverpool are on one at the moment. They're super hyperactive in the transfer market, and they just want to. I think they're possibly a little bit worried, mate, a little bit threatened by Chelsea. You know, I think that they've got their own plans, and then Chelsea doing what they're doing. I think that may tie into the whole Getafe thing. And then people looking over their shoulder, aren't they? It's one thing about winning the league and then doing everything to extend your lead. But at the same time, you've got to be a little bit cautious of those people that are sort of, chomping at your coattails a little bit, chomping at your heels, trying to grab some market share back. And I think Chelsea are a bit of a threat to everybody. So I think Liverpool are not going to stop. But you're right. And I think that the point David Blair makes is also correct. But I think Liverpool will be fine if they want to. But I think that part of them is maybe sort of, they're not in any way panicking, but I think they're sort of desperate to, make hay while the sun is shining, so to speak. So we shall see about that one, mate.
And I'd just say another loss to Spurs on Sunday, if they were to lose to Spurs on Sunday, you know, the fan base could go into like free fall. I mean, if they got really desperate and they couldn't sign anybody as a striker, Liverpool could go in. If Darwin Núñez doesn't go, we'll give you Darwin plus cash. How about that? Hey, you can 100%. Have him as a striker.
100%, mate. Yeah. Or Dominic Calvert-Lewin maybe might end up on there.
Calvert-Lewin. Oh,
ECL to Newcastle. Quickly, Bob Spurs also coming with the super sticker. Choo choo! Thank you, Bobby Spurs. You're an absolute legend, mate. Really, really appreciate you, Johnny. I know you just wanted to bring in the Araujo story, which we're going to come to in a minute. But
no worries.
There's a little side jaunt here. This has been sent to me just now from Connor. And I want to bring it up. This is the Twitter handle that also broke the story back in July of last year about LAFC for Sonny. And they also then came out and said more recently that Sonny wasn't going to go. He wanted to stay. Yeah. But this is a really interesting update for those Tottenham fans that are watching. And by the way, guys, please smash the like button. Official. Tottenham Catalina Kim as Chief Corporate and Development Advisor. The first Asian woman to hold a senior executive role at a Premier League Big Six club. A multilingual super agent. She's the Pinny Zahavi of corporate development in the Far East. And CEO of C&P Sports. Kim played key roles in major European football deals, including the Manchester City takeover and the Chelsea sale. She's also an RSA fellow. She will lead Spurs' global corporate strategy and long-term partnership development. And Connor's just sent me a second little thing here saying I appreciate you, Connor. She was involved with Nick Candy's bid to buy Chelsea. Massive. If this is true, and look, don't know much about this footballasian.com thing, but they were right on LAFC. They were early on that. That's
too much detail. That's too much detail not to have any substance to it, I'm afraid.
It's quite interesting, mate. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Moving into the Korean market just as Sonny's about to be potentially moving on, but then you got Yang coming in. Is she? I mean, maybe that's just an overlap, but like she's a she's interested in bringing in new money and making deals. I'm trying to think who Nick Candy is. Why do I know that name?
Nick Candy is Hyde Park 1, huge property developer, married to Holly, what's the name? The Australian singer.
Holly Valance.
Holly Valance, yeah.
And she's the treasurer. He's the treasurer of the Reform UK party since December of last year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Massive property
stuff. That's massive, mate. That's massive.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Connor. Good lad, buddy. Good lad. Well, we'll find out what that. Well, I'm sure we can do more about that on Spurs Talk Show at some point. Yeah. Johnny, let's talk about this story about Araujo, right? So, links are out this morning.
Uruguayan, guys. It's 26, Uruguayan centre back.
Yeah, plays as a centre back, but he also can play as a right back. 2 years ago, mate, Barcelona were looking at him as the next sort of like captain of the football club. He was an absolute monster in their title-winning campaign where they beat Real Madrid by 8-9 points. And he was like one of the most important players in the Barcelona team. Then I think it was the next season, he basically gave away a red card that ruined their Champions League campaign against PSG, gave away a penalty and a red card, and Barcelona fans went after him. And they never really let him down. He was then a scapegoat for absolutely everything that happened. Started getting into his head, made a few bozo decisions, like a bit of clangers here and there, generally kind of, sort of fell off a little bit. And then Hansi Flick came in, and Hansi Flick plays the offside trap with a super high line that he's just not very good at doing. And so he's been essentially sidelined by, is it Pau Calbiso, I think his name is, and Inicio Martinez, the guys that have taken his spot. And he's basically yesterday's guy. But if you go back a couple of years ago, like top draw player, fallen off. Apparently Barcelona are happy to let him go. Liverpool have been interested, Chelsea have been interested, and apparently today Tottenham are interested.
I think for him, right, look, the thing is, like Hansi Flick has his own way of doing things. Since he took over from Xavi, we saw what he did with Rafinha, who was going nowhere, playing out on the left-hand side, brought him more into the middle, changed his whole game. And unfortunately for Araujo, the way Hansi Flick plays and the system just does not suit him at all. I just think that
Kubasi.
He's going to go if he's going to go. But do we again? These links are all great, Sean. But when you sit down and you think about them, do we need another right back? Do we need another right centre? Why? We've got
Jojo can play on the left.
Yeah, but we got two players that can play on that right-hand side, and we've got about 5 right-sided centre-backs. My point is that the one position that we're desperately short of is the left-sided centre-back, left-sided. So whereas that, look, he's the type of player that Thomas Frank would love because he's aggressive, he's good in the air. He's not so great on the ball playing out, but, Thomas Frank, maybe won't be so interested in those long passes and stuff. It's one that you would tick the box for because he's unsettled. So we're linked to everybody. But I just think that we really could do with a left-sided player. I don't want us to be all lopsided again. And if
I hear you. I just think Jed Spence is a better left back, I think, than a right back. Because you know why? Because he's so good at pocketing teams that have got right wingers that want to cut in onto his stronger side. So he's happy to show them down the outside. They want to cut in, and he's brilliant with his right foot. So, and I think he concentrates more defensively as a left back than he does as a right back.
If you ask him, he'll tell you that if he plays 5 or 6 games back, it's because he's played more games at left-sided for Spurs than he has right-sided in the last while. But playing 5 or 6 games back and right side, he'll be just as good. Spurs signed him as a right-sided right back. So, there's no doubt whatsoever he has talent on both sides. My point is, I don't see the value on signing another right-sided centre-back, right-sided back, however good he is right now. There is one
Just quickly though, are we saying because of Araujo's mentality issues and he's injury prone, are we calling him?
You better watch out for the pothole, 'cause it's something to avoid. Don't ignore all his issues. Don't ignore all the noise.
Yeah, pothole for me, Sean. Avoid. Listen, he's not as bad as a lot of the potholes out there that need to. Some of them are mine shafts, but no, for me, definitely not. If we needed a right-sided centre back right now, then fair enough. One defender who you and I really like, De Winter. He's now being linked with Bournemouth. Interestingly, because obviously having sold Huijsen and sold Zabani and sold Kerkez, they're basically their entire defence. Do you think the pitch there for De Winter? Because I think he's a top player, former Juventus player, now at Girona, Genoa, should I say. Do you think they're pitching to him, come to us for one season and we'll send you on?
Possibly, mate. Listen, I think I don't know what Bournemouth have got in their tank apart from him in terms of. You don't hear too much about Bournemouth's transfers, do you? There's just like there's nothing going on, and then suddenly it's done.
They're selling. They're just selling.
But they need to be careful, mate, because they're selling all. They sold basically.
How much?
Their entire back line is almost gone. So
90 million.
Huijsen, and then the right back Max Aarons has gone as well. Like their entire back line and their goalkeeper has been completely they've lost everyone.
Well, they bought a new goalkeeper. They bought Chelsea's goalkeeper for 25 million, but they sold Kerkez for 40 million. They sold Huijsen for 50 million. That's 90 million. And they're looking for 60 to 70 million euros for Zabani. I mean, that's a lot of money, but you got to attract somebody in. They've got the player that I said to you need to watch, Trossard, that they bought in. Left back, so they bought the left back in. He's going to be a really good player. He, really likes the bomb forward. I think he's going to be a good signing. But they desperately Trossard. See the French accent there.
We're just dropping these in surreptitiously, just so you don't get offended when we come out with a Korean accent.
On the good news, let's give Newcastle fans some good news. Aaron Ramsdale has finally completed his medical test and is set to sign for Newcastle on an initial loan. Ramsdale's deal includes a buy option, but it's not mandatory. There you go, guys. For all you Newcastle fans, we hope to bring you some decent news for Newcastle really, really soon. But it seems to be a problem. The one that's
there's a story out from the Daily Mail about Ollie Watkins. Apparently, Craig Hope is saying if given encouragement, Newcastle are likely to make a move to sign Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. Can you see Ollie Watkins joining joining Newcastle? I think it would be. I think I could see him. I could see him playing in a Newcastle shirt. I could see him doing quite well there, to be honest.
They want 60 million. They want 60 million pounds, right, for a 30-year-old. Now Newcastle might be forced to buy it, to pay it. And Aston Villa are looking at a Pender. Now, he didn't have... last season he didn't have a great season. The season before, he was absolutely on fire. I don't know. Do you not think that really...
I'd go and get Voltemade. If I'm Newcastle right now, I'd go and get Voltemade. I think that guy would be... He'd be half the price of He's a young guy. He'd be half the price of what a 30-year-old in Visser is going to cost, and a 30-year-old or 29 in Visser and 30 in Ollie Watkins. Don't get me wrong. I think both of those players would be good for Newcastle. But if Newcastle are trying to find the next the replacement for Callum Wilson, and if they can keep hold of Anthony Gordon and they've got Anthony Elanga on the right, if they can keep Isak happy or otherwise, just in case he's unhappy, if you go and get I think if you bring in Ollie Watkins and Isak's playing, Ollie Watkins isn't going to be happy. He wasn't happy at Villa when Rashford came in and Rashford cop blocked him for his minutes, right? So
and John Duran when he was coming up,
and John Duran as well, exactly. So if you go and get someone like Voltemade, who's 22, 23, however old he is, I don't think he's going to be quite as demanding. And I think it can create a little bit more harmony in the squad. I worry about. I love Eddie Howe. I absolutely love him. But the challenge for a manager like him is has he got that much experience in having absolute egos and top draw players that are all fighting? Because Newcastle have had a very, very strong first 11, but their depth isn't that great. And so if Isak's a little bit unhappy at the moment, if he's being forced to stay, then what you're going to do if you bring in Ollie Watkins and then you have a potential powder keg there if he's not happy because he's not played because you're trying to keep Isak happy. The whole thing's a bit
I've got to be honest with you. I mean, Macy's Adventure has just brought up a player that we've spoken about who couldn't hit a barn door until Oliver Glasner turned up, and that's Philippe Mateta. The trouble is, Maisie, is that you're dealing with Parish. He cannot afford to sell. He cannot afford to sell Eze, Gahey, and Ismail Sarr has been interested in him, and
interested in Muniz as well.
Muniz as well. I can't actually see it, but it wouldn't be a bad show. Maybe Walter Marde is the player that Newcastle should be going for.
I think it makes sense. I think he's a top draw player, by the way. I think he's really, really good. Really good. 23 years old, got a lot of time on his side. He's classy with the ball at his feet. He's a big, lanky guy. If Eddie Howe can coach him up to be stronger in the air, I think you have I would take him at Tottenham. I would. And so, I'm not saying it to be like dismissive of Newcastle. I think that just Newcastle are in this situation right now where it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Like people are wanting to leave. People don't want to come. And how do you keep everybody happy that remains into next season? It's Champions League again. It's a difficult juggling act of keeping everybody happy. So
Forest fans should be very happy with Dan and Doy. A lot of Italian fans, clubs are really amazed. They were trying to move heaven and earth to get Dan and Doy. But Forest have made it officials. They just could not keep up with Nottingham Forest's bid. And the feeling is, according to Alfredo Padula, that Forest have well overpaid for Dan and Doyle, although he's a good player, just to get his man. All the Italian clubs were trying to outdo him. Look, we like him. You and I are fans of Ndoye, and I think he'll be a great acquisition for Forest, as much as it pains me to say it.
Yep. Palace have made it. It's an interesting update. Gazzetta Italia is saying Palace have made a 32 million euro bid for Jan Bissek, Inter Milan centre back that Tottenham have been linked with. Great centre back, right? Inter have rejected it and demanded at least 40 million for the defender. That's obviously going to be the replacement then, probably for Mark Gahey. They're expecting a bid from Liverpool, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Listen, Liverpool said they're not paying 40 million. Last summer or last January, it was 70 million. He's got 1 year left on his contract. There's no option. I think it'll be a Mexican standoff. This one will be going down to the wire, I reckon. I reckon Liverpool will get their man, and I believe that Palace will get their man. But there's noises coming out from Oliver Glasner that he's not happy at all with what's going on. He's won them the FA Cup. He thinks he's going in the Europa League. Previous winner, great in Europe, knows how to navigate Europe. Now he's in the Conference League, and now his club, not doing any business. And all the noises about players being sold with texts that go, will Willie Johnson come in and say, hang on, over my dead body?
It's not up to him, is it? Parish has made it clear. I'm in charge. You got 42%. Thank you for your money, but you shut up and stay out of the game.
So is he a cock block, Sean?
I think he might just be.
Just when you thought your squad was getting proper, that player won't leave. They call that cock blocker.
Yeah, he's definitely a cock blocker. And another cock blocker could be Donnarumma, who is now saying, despite interest from Chelsea and Man United and other clubs, he's saying, you know what? I might just hang around. I might just hang around for another year and leave on a free. But hang on a minute, he just signed a replacement goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's your problem.
Yeah, 100%. What's that guy's name? Chevalier.
Oh, Molly.
Guys, talking about cop blockers, the chat's being a little bit cop blockish this evening, guys, this afternoon. We've got 850 people here, give or take, and there's only 245 likes. That's a terrible ratio. It's a disgraceful ratio, guys. Run that up to 400. We need to be on the 50% ratio minimum. We appreciate you.
600 yesterday. Yeah, it's shocking, Sean. We had 600, 650 yesterday. And we were all over the shop.
All over the place, mate. All over the place, buddy. Mate, another story. So we've done the Crystal Palace story there. Connor Cody has joined Wrexham. The Wrexham are doing things. Connor Cody's a player for them.
32 now, Connor Cody. Seems like he's been around forever.
Yeah. Here's a sad story, mate. Not a sad story. Probably, I don't know how to describe it, but a disappointing story to know that this sort of shit happens. Ashraf Hakimi, legend in the Champions League final, did really well in the Club World Cup, a monster of a player, possibly a monster of a human being. He is facing up to 15 years in prison for grape charges. He has always maintained his innocence and argued he was accused for financial gain. The prosecutor's office has just requested the indictment of the player before the criminal court. That's coming from Le Parisien, one of the biggest newspapers in...
What players are that, Sean? I didn't hear what you said.
Akram Hakimi.
Oh, for Hakimi.
Yeah.
You
15
said
years
grape.
in prison, potentially for grape. Yeah.
I thought you said grape charges. I thought he's been pressing grapes in his spare time illegally.
I did say it, but I said it for a reason because we don't want to get demonetized.
Okay, you did say grape.
I did say grape. Yeah, it's just it's horrendous, mate. Horrendous stuff. There's a lot of this percolating around, isn't there, at the moment in football? It's
well, the allegation. Look, the allegation. Once the allegation is made, the headlines on page 1. And when it's found that it's no substance to it, the retractions on page 21, and all that's in the mind of fans and people is, oh, yeah, I remember him. He was up on this charge or that charge. And
yeah, if it's not true, his reputation, either way, his reputation's ruined. But if he's guilty, allegedly, then
he deserves to go to jail, Sean.
And you know what, mate? This story is not new, by the way. I heard about this about a year ago. So when we criticise Arsenal for sweeping it under the rug and letting Thomas Partey play out their failed title bid, PSG are guilty of the same thing if it's true. I just think those sorts of things, as soon as it gets to the part where you're seriously being accused and it's a secret, but it's an open secret. I think that they should be suspended on full pay. What
happened to Gylfi Sigurdsson? His whole career went. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, on a happier note, Sunderland are right at it again. Sunderland have agreed a deal with Chelsea to sign young Spanish striker Mark Guehi on a season-long loan. There is no purchase options as the Blues still have Guehi in their long-term plans, along with the other 87 players they have on their books. But Wolves, let's have a look at Wolves. Wolves agreed a deal to sign David Moller-Wolf from AZ Alkmaar. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we played him. Good little left back. The 23-year-old Norwegian left back is due to travel for a medical in the next 24 hours and is the replacement for Al-Nouri, who obviously went off to Manchester City. It doesn't give a price, but you can guarantee that Wolves, with their usual business, have managed to do a good trade for what they got in to what's going out there. Just throwing it in. West Ham with Paqueta, they can't afford to sell him, can they? Even if they need the money, the fans would go into meltdown.
I think they might have to, mate. They got a £50 million loan bill. Maybe the Tottenham Hotspur bid for Kudus helped them out with the £50 million loan that was due at the end of yesterday. But they still don't have a lot of money, mate. They haven't got European football. They haven't got a big stadium that they own. They haven't got any kind of revenue streams coming in that's separate to. So I think that they're financially screwed. So I think that maybe they might need to kind of just lick their wounds a little bit. I think they're probably going to hold on to Jared Bowen, but maybe Paqueta, should be sold, and then they can move it and go after some young players, and hopefully they can reset. Not that I care about West Ham, but just for the purposes of balance, they need to go and buy some better attacking options. And Paqueta, maybe they could make the argument they could get 45 million for it. I'd imagine that but bearing in mind, mate, that West Ham are going through ownership struggles right now. You've got that Trip Smith guy who wants to take over from.
Yeah, it's power struggle there. It's a power struggle.
The Gold family, whose David Gold died.
You've got the Brady's. You've got what's his name?
Sullivan. Brady's. I think Brady's. Is Brady still there? Sullivan's still in charge.
Yeah.
But the Gold died. Well, his daughter also passed away tragically, and then the last remaining daughter, I forget her name. They just cleared the probate so that they can now sell that 25% stake, and Trip Smith wants to take it on. So there's a bit of a power struggle happening there. And usually when there's a power struggle, there's also some liquidations of assets. So I wouldn't be surprised if Paqueta does actually leave.
They could do with the money. One club who now they've got the money for Victor Osimhen finally cleared up after 800 days. Doesn't look like they're
sorry. On that story, have you seen that Victor Osimhen? Have you seen how much he's earning? It's absolutely incredible. It's amazing, it is. It's proper. I don't know why I'm doing a Welsh accent for Turkey. It's insane, mate. Let's go across to Turkey right now because it's a perfect time.
This is the Turkey segment. The Turkey segment of the show.
This was again Connor, reporter on the ground for us today. He sent this to me last night, mate. This is wild. Again, thank you very much, my man, for sending this across. Let me translate this post. Can I translate?
They were offering him all the gold they could eat. So let's see what they've got.
It's insane. How do I why can't I get the translate button?
You're in the chat, guys, and you haven't hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And if you're here for the very first time and you want to follow the show, please hit the subscribe button on our journey to we're heading for 4,000 now in 2.5 months. And if you're listening on audio, please hit the follow and drop us a cheeky little review. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, so this is from Galatasaray official. Okay, I've just translated it from Turkish into English. Regarding the transfer of professional footballer Victor James Osimhen, an agreement has been reached with his club, SSCN Napoli SPA. In this context, a net transfer fee of 75 million euros will be paid to the player's former club. Additionally, under the terms of the agreement, 10% of the profit from the player's next sale will be paid to Napoli. So they got a 10% sell-on fee. A 4-year contract, just 4, has been signed with the player, effective from now. According to the agreement, the player will receive a net of tax, guaranteed fee of 15 million euros per season, 300,000 euros a week, that is. A net loyalty bonus of 1 million euros per season and an image rights fee of 5 million. He's getting 21 million euros after tax. So that's 450,000 euros a week after tax. If he was in the UK and paying 50% tax on that, that's the equivalent of about 600-700 grand a week, mate. It's because they've got that Turkish specific rule where
Saudi, but they got a link, right? First of all, different tax. If you're
different taxes,
to bend the rules to get the Turkish league up. Plus, we know that there's investment coming from Saudi into Turkey, hence the sudden influx of players. Hence the reason why we have our Turkey section. I think, Sean, it's time to do the Turkey spin the wheel, mate.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to pick a team. But before we get to it, we have to figure out what's going on with the spin the wheel.
Step right up and take your shot. What's behind that mystery spot? Will it be gold or a tiny teapot? Feel the buzz, the room's alive. We could spin and you'll thrive. Spin that wheel, spin it fast. Big drinks turn while the moments last. Spin that wheel, spin it true. Fortune's calling, it's up to you.
The never-ending wheel of misfortune. This summer, thus far, Johnny and I have been absolutely raided in luck. We've had the lady luck on the wheel of fortune has not helped us at all. But Johnny, do you want to just recap all of that? So I pick a team, you pick a team, and then the audience gets a team. What have we got so far?
We don't pick a team. The wheel picks a team. We spin the wheel. We're going to have one in each league. And so far, let's recap. So in Spain, I have Athletic Bilbao. You have Eche. Okay, Eche till I die.
What did the audience get in Spain? Valencia.
No, in Spain they got Valencia. Then we went to Italy. You got Roma. The fans got Juventus. And I got that well-known Italian club, Cremonese. Okay, Cremonese. Then we did, what was the next one we did?
Germany,
Schweinhund, yes.
There was a flag on the play with my draw.
Oh, yeah, there was a VAR incident. There was a VAR incident where Sean drew Freiburg, but he put Eintracht Freiburg.
Yeah, I screwed up with the naming conventions.
Yeah, he messed up on that one. So I ended up with RB Leipzig, no problem. And Sean ended up with Marinakis' favourite meal, Hamburg.
I got Hamburg. Who did the chat get? Does anyone remember who the chat got? What did the chat get for Germany? The chat got.
We'll have to check. We have to write this down. I've forgotten who they got. We'll have to go through that show.
Anyone remember who the chat got? Let us know the chat. This is your team as well. Let us know who you got. Remind us for those of you the regular watchers.
So we're going to spin the wheel today for Turkey. So today we're going to spin the wheel for Turkey. Half of these teams I've never even heard of. Chat got Fiorentina for Germany.
No, they didn't get Fiorentina. Yeah. No, they didn't get Bayern Munich. They got
Borussia.
Who did they get?
I got RB Leipzig, Alan. I got RB Leipzig. We'll check it out.
German League. They got. Was it Werder Bremen, wasn't it? Werder Bremen. They got Werder Bremen.
Okay. Right. So
who's going first, Johnny?
I think the
chat goes first.
Chat goes first. Let the chat go first. Right. Let's go.
3, 2, 1. Good luck, chat.
We better write this down. I'll never remember this team.
The chat has got Istanbul, Basaksehir.
Hang on, I'll have to take a picture of it because there's no chance.
I have to go and buy some shirts. Go and buy some shirts with some giveaways.
We're going to have to ring up the Turkish. Tourist board. Right, I'll go next.
I'm sure Foxy's already familiar with their youth system.
Let's go, Corin Sport. Right, okay. I'll go next. I'll go next.
Next. Okay. Kazimpasa.
I can't even say it. Kazimpasa.
Do you know what? The good thing about going last is I've removed 2 of the options. Come on, let's bring me in a Fenerbahce. Let's go.
Yeah, Sean, in the chat, they're going, because of the teams are so bad, we should do 3 spins, 1 each.
Well, let's find out who I get first. I'll see if I'll take my first one. We can respin the audience if you want. We can respin. Yeah. I mean, you know what? We'll find out. Wait a minute. If I get a good one, then we're good. We're golden. Let's go. No. Who are you?
Who you for? Right. Okay, guys, let's vote. Let's vote. I've never even heard of. Right.
Group draw or not?
Do we vote? Take it or respin? Right. Let's hear the vote. I vote respin. 1 for respin. 2 keep it. Let's hear a vote. 1 for keep. 2 for respin. Respin.
Or should we just remove all those other teams and just go for one of those 3?
1 is keep, 2 is respin. Respin.
All right, we're respinning. We're respinning.
Respin. Right, last one. And you will have to choose between them. Okay, so here's the chats one.
Have you written down all 3 of the teams?
I've got them. I've got them in order.
All right.
Okay.
This is the chat. This is the chat. Have some faith, guys. Have some faith. Fatty Karagumara.
What the?
Fatty Karagumuk. Okay.
I think they'll stick with it. I think they'll stick with Istanbul. Right. Okay. My go now. Spin. I'll see if I can keep one.
You're fucked as well.
Hang on.
Texter-Marinakis. Texter-Marinakis.
I think we could be doing 3 spins. Right, let's do yours. He's going to get one, isn't he? Chat. He's definitely.
Come on. Let's go. Gazette's for fuck's sake.
Right. Let's do one more respin, and you have to choose out of the 3, and that'll be it. Right, Here we go.
Should never have done Turkey. The whole thing's ridiculous. It's fixed. No, the chat get Fenerbahce.
Oh, there you go. Chat's got Fenerbahce. There you go. Well deserved. Well deserved.
I mean, you are with. If you get Galatasaray and I get a shit show, I'm gonna be fucking fuming.
I'm happy with Besiktas. Who?
And Tlasipor. Are you writing all these down? Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Fuck. God, you're going to go next. If you get Galatasaray, I think I'm going to cry.
Oh, I just lost Besiktas. Oh, no. Alanyaspor. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Right. Okay. So we'll decide which of the 3. Hang on. So you have to decide. I mean, they sound so familiar. I mean, we got Antalyaspor and Alanyaspor. Right. So you've got to choose, Sean. I've got to. The chat's got. They know what they're going to do. I've got to choose between Kasim Pasa, Kayserispor, and Antalyaspor. I don't know any of them. I've got absolutely no. We'll have to decide which one we're going to go for out of those. That's what you get for cheating. If we were cheating, we wouldn't have got there. We wouldn't have got that. We wouldn't have got any of those.
I don't even remember the 3 names that I got.
I've got
Alanyaspor, I think. I like the name Alanyaspor, I think.
Did you get Alanyaspor? That was the very last one. Yeah,
Alanyaspor. Yeah. Let me have a look. The highest valued player in Alanyaspor is £8. Is 2.6 million quid. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think I'm Antalyaspor. And who the flipping is Gotsepper?
That was my one.
That's your one, isn't it?
Goztepe, I think it is Goztepe.
We'll choose that. We'll choose that one. We'll announce which one Sean and I are going to go for. I need to do some research on that.
All right, this is sport my mood. Let's get back to
Manchester United are. Let's go back to Manchester United. Manchester United are interested in Lucien Agome again. I mean,
great player.
Really good player. Really good young Sevilla midfielder. This isn't the first time Man United have been linked with him. Is this one really dependent on outgoings? I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. But we should have used this guy in the cock block section, but we passed him by. Rasmus Højlund has said, I think my plan is very clear, and that's for me to stay here and fight for my spot, whatever happens. There is rumours, obviously, that RB Leipzig will take him if they lose Sesko. The other club who might come back in for him, Atalanta, there's been a spanner in the works because Inter Milan have not come up with the goods for Lookman.
Yeah.
Now, is that going to alert some Premier League clubs right now? Because
I hope
surely
so.
this player is good enough to come and play for the Premier League.
He's already played here for 3 clubs, hasn't he? I think he'd be. I think he'd be excellent at Tottenham. If we're looking for a left winger to replace Sonny, who can also sort of double up as a false 9 or a 9 or a left wing forward, I'd love Ademola Lookman. I really would. I'd prefer him over Garnacho. I'd prefer him over Jack Grealish. I prefer him over a lot of players that Tottenham have been sort of quietly linked with. So, yeah, if Inter are snoozing, then hopefully someone else can come in. But it's a hell of a lot of dominoes, mate, at the moment, isn't there? There's dominoes everywhere.
I mean, listen, what they're looking for about 45 million, and they're coming up with 30 million plus add-ons. Who can forget that hat trick he scored in the Europa League final a couple of years back against Eintracht Frankfurt, wasn't it? Was it Eintracht Frankfurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eintracht Frankfurt, yeah. No, Bayer Leverkusen. Sorry. Was it Bayer Leverkusen? Yeah, Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, it was. Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay.
Also, another youngster, Jack Morehouse, a talented player for Manchester United, has agreed to sign a new contract before joining Leyton Orient on a season-long loan. He had lots of interest from lots of other clubs, but he's decided, he wants to stay at Man United and go out on loan. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. Manchester City is a surprise for me, actually.
Still interested in Paqueta as well.
Yeah, they're still interested in this, but Manchester City, we talked about this guy from Palmeiras, Victor Rios, the young centre-back that they signed. And another one who I really rated was Claudio Echeverri. Both players.
I've got to make a jingle about Johnny. It's Johnny's accent time of the show.
Claudio Echeverri, right? Anyway, they are looking like they're going to go to the sister club Girona on loan. Reyes has already been more or less agreed. Now, that's 2 very good players going to Girona, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for. And there's another player who there was rumours who broke through the end of last season, who a lot of people thought, would be part of Manchester City going forward. Then there was rumours that this guy was going to leave, and now he's agreed a new contract with Manchester City, and that's Nico O'Reilly. Bayer Leverkusen have had 2 or 3 bids rejected. There was also Premier League interest, but City now have a verbal agreement with O'Reilly to stay and get a new shirt number and remain with the team. I can't quite work out why they would sell him, Sean. Do you? Because, I mean, he really looked good.
Nico O'Reilly?
Yeah, the guy with a...
Yeah, I know, yeah. I don't know, mate. I think Man City, sometimes they make... Man City's not... they're very, very good, but they also make mistakes. And I think that they're happy to sell players on. They're happy to spend money on players that don't always work out, and then they'll get rid of them. Look at Calvin Phillips as a perfect example. But I think Nico O'Reilly is a very talented player. But is he going to get the minutes in the Manchester City team? Or is it better for them to let him go with a big sell-on fee or some sort of buyback clause or whatever else later on?
He's a player that is getting a lot of interest right now. And we have to go there where the money is, Sean.
Oh. Am I going to pick the right one today?
Yeah, I think you will.
We're off to Saudi Arabia for the next part of the show.
Bilal Al-Khanous. He's got a lot of interest from Premier League clubs. There was linked to Spurs. Leeds are really interested in him, around about 26 million with several clubs. But Saudi Arabia seem to be seeing really this is a player they'd love to sign. Arab player, take him to Saudi Arabia, pay him. Sorry, well, he's Arab. What I'm saying is he would fit into their model of trying to buy Arabs. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. Once an Arab, always an Arab. Right. You know what I mean. Right. They're taking him back. They're taking him back. Now, listen, I mean, Saudi Arabia can definitely outmuscle the 49ers group. Listen, Leeds have got most of the players that they've gone for, in fairness to them. But yeah. I don't know. Do you think you leave Leicester Championship and go out to Saudi Arabia?
No, he's 21 years old, mate.
Yeah, but you can go out to Saudi Arabia, feed your family for generations.
Oh, I hear you. And if so, then cool. Do you look after you? Go and get your money, mate. Whatever you want. But you're a long time retired, and I'm just thinking that if he's as big a talent as everyone keeps telling me he is, I've looked at him on the Y Scout. I wasn't that blown away. I saw some really good bits, but I saw a lot of like flashy, overly extended nonsense that just wanted to get on the highlight reel. If you look him up on YouTube, you'll be like, this guy's a baller. You go and look him up on the Y Scout and you see his everything, and he wastes so much with his floppy, loppy bollocks because he wants to get on the highlight reel. And I don't think he's that special, but a lot of people do. And so, okay, prove it, right? Don't go to Saudi Arabia. What are you doing? You're playing in front of like 3/4 empty stadiums and that. It's a load of like, you've got so much. You haven't got that much time in your career, but when you're 21, you've got 13 years to go and pick up your paycheck. Prove yourself before you go and do it, in my opinion. But that's just me. I don't know if I was 21 and I was talented and someone was offering me all the gold I could eat, maybe I'd do the same. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's a shame. It's a shame.
I'll tell you who's doing a lot of talking, and that is former Tottenham Hotspur director of football, Damien Comolli. He seems to be having a lot to say about a lot of things right at the moment.
Juventus right now, isn't he?
He's at Juventus, right? Yeah. So he's saying about Dusan Vlahovic. We have agreed with Dusan on his exit this summer if we get a good proposal. Vlahovic can only leave with a good bid, and we've not received one so far, which is a bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if you want this big shiny toy, you can only have it for a good price. At the moment, no, we haven't received anything.
Yes, we only want 20 million, but so far no one's interested. The reason being is they know you're desperate, right?
Exactly.
They know you're absolutely desperate. And on Douglas Luiz refusing to come back and falling out with everyone and not really performing at all, he said Douglas Luiz has completely disrespected his teammates and the whole of the Juventus group. He has now apologised right after it. But look, the thing is, he wants to leave. Which Douglas Luiz will they get? Will they get the one that was at Aston Villa, which was unbelievable, or will they get the one that's turned up at Juventus? It's hard to know. But Damien Comolli has then gone on to say he's confirmed that Randal Kolo Muani, the deal is on. Yes, Kolo Muani wants to return to Juventus. We are talking to Paris Saint-Germain about the deal. He wants to rejoin us. So there's no rush. Is there a bit of kidology there? Because PSG want to sell him. They're saying there's no rush. Is that so that no one else nips in and steals him? Because let's be honest, the 45 million euros, which is all they want for him right now, that is a bargain compared to some of the prices that are being quoted for lesser players in Europe right at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the players basically said, I want to join you, and the club are saying, okay, just hang around for a minute. We've got to sell Vlahovic. We've got to sell Timothy Weah. When we get those players out the door, we've got room for you and we've had some money. Then just basically fend off any other approaches. Then, if they're trusting his word that's where he wants to go. He sounds like he wants to go there, mate. Like, as much as I rate the player, he turned us down in January, and he's turned us down. If don't fucking move on. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Good luck to him, whatever. But if he doesn't want to come to Tottenham, so be it. I'm surprised that there's not a queue of people lining up. I do rate him. But if he's basically turned around and gave his word that he's going to go there, and then Juventus has said, we will buy you as soon as we can, just relax.
You don't have the money.
But we will do one when the way is done and the
Vlahovic is done and Luiz is done.
You know? I think Vlahovic to me is an interesting one. I'd love to see that guy in the Premier League to see whether he was really worth all the hype, because he was extraordinarily good at Fiorentina.
Yeah.
You know, but you part back to like Matt Letizia, right? Like Matt Letizia, one club man at Southampton, stood out, right? Absolutely sensational. If he went into a bigger, and he said himself, he was happy being a big fish in a small pond. If he went to like a United back in their heyday, would he have just been kind of like another good player amongst the team of champions?
No.
And would that have not worked out? Dusan Vlahovic was amazing at Fiorentina, but he went to a bigger pond, and I don't necessarily think
he sunk, didn't he? He just sunk. And going back to Kolo Muani, just very quickly revisited, everyone would have turned Spurs down in January. We were a club in freefall. We looked like we were going nowhere, and dreams of playing in the Champions League were a million miles away. And, you know, you've got that or Juventus. I'm not being funny, but, you know, I wouldn't hold it against him for turning us down. One player who I thought you and I spoke about right at the beginning, we thought might have got snapped up for this fee, was Denzel Dumfries. 25 million euro release clause has now expired at Inter Milan.
Interesting.
And now you're going to have to negotiate with Inter Milan, which is going to be an absolute nightmare.
Very interesting that, because the clause wasn't a lot of money.
25 million euros.
Yeah, not a lot of money. He's a really good player. He was fantastic in the Champions League in the semi-final. He's absolutely fantastic.
Guys, if you're in the chat, sorry, Sean, go on, carry on, mate.
No, I'm just finished. Go carry on.
Yeah, no, I was saying, if you're in the chat, guys, and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And if you're here and you haven't hit subscribe, apparently only 43% of the people who've watched these channels actually hit the subscribe button. So if you are here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button, and you can follow us, and or the notification bell will let you know when we're on, because we're on any time between 9 in the morning and 9 at night. Another player who...
Super quick, Johnny. Sorry, super quick. Yeah. Gerald Goldsmith, big up to you, mate. Super chat saying, we're the next best behind Sava. I'll take that. Sava's very, very good. Sava's very good. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for the support and the supers chat. Please, send Sava our love. We love Sava to pieces. He's a great guy.
Yeah, we normally have a Sava raid at some point. Another player looking to go back to Germany is Christopher Nkunku. Borussia Dortmund have inquired about him becoming the latest club to show an interest in the striker. Again, with his injuries, it's going to be a small fee, isn't it, or a loan?
Who? Sorry.
I can only see a small fee or a loan for Christopher Nkunku.
Nkunku, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, mate. I've got no idea. I mean, he's well. I mean, the version of him that we saw in Germany was sensational, justified the big price tag. Obviously, it's not worked out since. So, you kind of sit there and you think maybe he's not worth anything more than maybe 35, 40 million. I don't know. Would you take a punt on him? His injury problem seems to be behind him.
Listen, before he went there, he was an absolute baller at Leipzig. He was fantastic. He was a constant goal threat. But the injury was a big one, and so I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think there's a player in there. He's still young enough. But I wouldn't. If you got an abundance of money, fine. But if you're short of money, then no, not for me. We missed one out. I missed one out. Begging pardon. Another Saudi one. But Bologna have sent an opening bid for Wesley Gasova from Al Nassr, but they've turned it down. Negotiations are expected to continue as Bologna plan to return with a new offer for the fast Brazilian winger. Don't think I know him, to be honest with you.
What's his name?
Wesley Gasova.
No, I never heard of him.
Yeah, he's sponsored by British Gas.
Arsenal, in that case, sell him, sack him.
Arsenal still crying after yesterday's tragic loss in the not important trophy after the event. Before the event, obviously, it was always important. Arsenal are expected to make a serious approach for Eberechi Eze, with sources at Crystal Palace anticipating the talks with the Gunners, even though the England international's release clause has now expired. Could you imagine trying to deal with Steve Parish now the clause is expired?
Yeah. I mean, I think Steve Parish has got bigger problems, mate, to be honest. I think listen, I don't want to go full 360 on us here, mate, but or full 180, whatever. But I think that story at the start of the show with John Texter and Marinakis is bigger than people give it credit for. I think it's a wild take and a wild story that the guy essentially, those things didn't happen after he left. Those conversations did not happen after he left Crystal Palace. I think they happened beforehand, and it was probably part of the story of him leaving. And so I think Steve Parish, maybe he's got to look over his shoulder around, are there other players that are going to have been approached? Could Nottingham Forest be going after anybody from Crystal Palace? Could Nottingham Forest see some wild attempt to unsettle via John Texter and via Marinakis a couple of like a Mateta, for example? Be interesting to find out what happens there, mate. Sorry, anything else, mate?
Yeah. No, I've got another one. Blimey O'Reilly, Matt O'Reilly, being linked to lots of clubs. I don't quite get this. Brighton moved out their way to try and get Matt O'Reilly. Are they getting rid of him?
Yeah.
Do they know something about him that we don't know?
Is the ex-Celtic Matt O'Reilly?
Is it Matt O'Reilly, Brighton O'Reilly?
Yeah, ex-Celtic though, right?
Yes. I mean, they've only just bought him. Is it injuries that they're willing to sell him? A guy they've just literally bought, they're just going to flip him?
I don't know, mate. I haven't really followed his path at Brighton. I don't really know if he's been injured or maybe. Look, Matt O'Reilly was exceptional under Ange Postecoglou. He was exceptional. He really was. But Celtic playing against Hibs, it's not the same thing as Brighton playing away at Newcastle, is it? So I don't know. I've got no idea, mate. But if they're selling him for a reason. But I don't know about whether there's a reason there. Alan M saying Parish letters to the Prem incoming. We shall see. We shall see, Alan. Johnny, we have been going for an hour and 32, mate. Don't want to go too much longer, otherwise it gets difficult.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. I've got other stories. I mean, we all know Everton had a bid for Tyler Diblin, rejected. Atletico Madrid, they're interested in Raspadori from Napoli, despite Raspadori, despite already being linked with the guy we mentioned before for Spurs, Enzo Milo.
Yep.
Bayer Leverkusen, 30 million for Amin Adili, who was farmed out. A ton of stats of sub effects against net opposition. West Ham supposedly looking at him. We've done Jan Bissek, haven't we? So no, yep. I think we can wrap it up, guys. If you hit the subscribe button on your way out, and hit the like button, and please tell us where you're from and what club you support before you leave. That would be great. Sean?
Yeah, guys, we got just to let you know, we're going to start a little trend here. We're going to try and not help because some of these channels are much bigger than ours, but we're going to send you off to somewhere else that's going live at the same time after every show. Today, we are handing you over to Rory Talks Arsenal, who's titled his show, let's not calm about the Spurs. Let's relax about the Spurs defeat. Let's relax. So what I need you guys to do is to chime in there as we send you over and say, Football Inc. raid. And by the way, Arsenal are in the mud. Guys, smash the subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you enjoy this content, but you do prefer the platforms that are on the podcast side of things, then you can find us on Football Inc. Type in Football Inc. or get into the description. Please follow us on Spotify. Please follow us on Apple Pods and the like. And we'll see you tomorrow for another episode where we're not going to be picking Turkish teams because that was just an absolute shit show. But
it was a shit show. In the end. I don't know what we'll do with that one, guys. If you do listen on audio, please drop us a cheeky review. We've only had 6 reviews so far, which is pretty shambolic on Apple. So if you are on Apple, please drop us a review and a 5-star rating. That would be great. Really appreciate it. Sean, it's goodbye from me.
It's certainly a see you later from this guy. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, Football Inc. raid. Arsenal in the mud. Take care. Bye.